This has been the works for a really long time, and I've been following his journey for a while. I've seen him develop from this young kid at the TVS motocross facility into a world-class athlete and a true professional and someone who's gone on to achieve what he had claimed was impossible. It's an absolute pleasure to have Harith Noah with us, who is the reigning 2024 Dakar Rally 2 champion. He's also won 5 national supercross championships, and the attempt here is to get to know the man behind the helmet, who is of course the rising TVS superstar. So thank you so much for taking out time to come here, and where do we begin? I think the beginning, which is motocross. How did it all begin?
Yeah, I think it began in the paddy fields.
Paddy fields,
Yeah,
okay.
down the road from my house. It was like a race happening on the weekend. I was home from boarding school, so I just got a bike for my birthday or something like that, or Christmas. I don't know which one. I think Christmas maybe.
How old were you?
16.
You were 16?
Yeah.
Oh, you started out pretty late then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, and then I didn't know how to ride properly, but I watched these guys train the week before the race. So, and then they asked if I wanted to race, and then I was like, yes, but I was not sure what I was gonna do. So, and anyways, I ended up racing the beginners category, and finished last. But that's when it like that thrill, and I always like dirt, and everything started there.
Why MX? Just because you happened to see this race and you wanted to participate, or somewhere in your mind you always had more proclivity towards dirt than riding on the road?
Yeah, I think so, because like when I was a kid, I always liked dirt, like mud. So if I was in the car with my parents, or if I'm on the cycle, I always, when I see water or mud, I ask them to go drive through it, and I look out of the window to see the mud splash. So that's always been, I've never really thought about road. Actually, after this race, like the first race, and I started preparing that bike for more races, I went to one of the road racing championships in Coimbatore, one of the rounds, because my dad was like, I think you should try this, I think it's better. And I was like, nah, it's too boring, it's just like, So, no. And so I always was like sure that I wanted to do off-road than road.
So then, if you're talking dirt and racing in India, the one name that pops in your head, of course, is TVS Racing.
Yeah.
Because they have had the most success when it comes to like domination per se. How did that happen? How did you enter the world of TVS Racing?
Yeah, so the first race I went to, after all these few local races, we did our research, me and my dad. He really was on my side about what is there to race and national championships and stuff, and supercross, the national supercross championship. And we went to, I believe it was Bangalore, was around to watch. I don't know if I raced, and that was the first time I went to a race, and I saw the TVS pits for the first time. Like they were had all their bikes lined up. And I was like, whoa, this is so professional. I was like, whoa, if I could ever just be on any of the bikes and be in this team, this is will be a dream come true, And obviously I was just a beginner. I raced 1 year as a privateer fully, the national championship, and towards the middle of the season, I started winning in some of the races, and I won the championship in the SX2 category.
That was 2011, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And and then before the next year, I got a nice call from Aravind Pandokar. He used to be the team manager. He asked me if I was interested in joining the team and coming to Hosur to meet and stuff. So obviously I said yes, and we went there and tested the bikes and signed the contract, and that's when the journey started with TVS.
So you already won as a privateer, and then next year you are in the factory team that you wanted since the first time you set your eyes on the factory pits. How different was the experience in in the first year, as a factory rider?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was like, obviously TVS supports many riders, which is really nice. So I was one of the many riders. And fortunately, I was directly riding the bigger bike because I won the championship in the bigger bike. So I started training on it. I went many times to Hosur because they have like multiple tracks there. And we did our training there. And 2012, I don't really remember, but I think maybe I won a championship in Group B in 2012. And 2013, I believe I had a broken collarbone or something. Something was there. And then 2014 was the first time I won the Premier Class SX1 in the National Championship with TVS, obviously. And yeah, it's changed a lot because, I mean, you have a professional team backing you. You don't need to think of many other things. Like if you have a crash or the liver or whatever, when you're a privateer, it's a little different. So it's definitely a positive thing to have a backing from a factory team. Obviously, it comes with a little more pressure and expectations. But for me, in my career, it's always been my own expectations that I have to deal with. So yeah.
So by 2017, you already had 4 titles. And then you suddenly decided that you wanted to try your hand at rallying.
Yeah.
Right? In 2018.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why? Were you always fascinated with rallying, or were you done with the motocross or supercross scene in India?
It was a mixture of many things. So I actually used to watch the Paris Dakar at that time. When I was a kid, my dad used to get the cassettes and I used to watch, but I didn't really know like what it was or anything. It was just like cars and bikes in the desert or whatever. So I used to know it before. And then during this time, TVS was the first manufacturer to take part in the Dakar from India with the team working with Sherco. So I saw the opportunity there that if there's a possibility for me to race against the world's best at the biggest level, which was always my dream. It was, to be honest, it was first like in Supercross, to do that in Supercross. But to be honest, like it was way more difficult than, like, you can say what you want, but it's very difficult in reality because obviously I started when I was 16, for example, and all the things like my skill level on the bike is even now not at the level where compared to most of the riders even at the Dakar. So that's why rally racing is a little different, because it's not just the skill on the bike, which is something I'm working on daily to improve, but it's also the navigation and the mental and the fitness, much more than like Supercross. So anyways, I saw this opportunity that I could possibly race against the best at the world's biggest level, and I asked TVS and they said sure, and gave me a chance at one of the races they were taking part in already.
So which was your first rally race?
The first proper rally raid was in Morocco.
Okay.
2018. I went there. Rookie big bike, like the big machine rally bike, first time.
How different was it?
So big. No, it's very big. It's so different than like a motocross or a supercross bike. For me, everything was new, but obviously I was like young, before I started rallying, I always thought it's like easy and they're riding very slow, because in the videos, I don't know, I just had this feeling like you can go faster than that, you know? Like it's just obviously it's because you have to navigate and all that stuff. So I went there. I think the prologue, I remember I finished, I don't know which position, but I was just behind Andrew Short. And I think he was Husky or something. And Andrew Short I know from Supercross. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I'm behind this guy, like really? And then that first stage, I also remember navigation, I don't know, nothing. I was just going. I kept going, and then I like passed Andrew Short because he was lost or something. So I was like, whoa, I'm the best, or like not the best, but like I was very, very motivated, and I was happy, and like I was also lost. I think I lost a waypoint or something. And the next day I didn't have a crash, but I like my front end washed a little bit, and I put my leg down, and it's a very heavy bike, so I just put it down and I tore my ACL. I mean, I didn't know at that time, it just hurt a lot. I stopped and I was like, fuck. And then, yeah, I just continued and I finished the race. And I still didn't know that the ACL was torn because it was swollen and stuff, but the doctor at the event said that it might just be like a bruise or something. So later on, I got it fixed and stuff. But that was the first rally, so there was a lot of whoa and a lot of ow. But yeah, it was definitely something that opened my eyes and made me believe that it is something different, something special, and that there is a higher possibility that I could over time work my way towards the top if I put all my efforts into it.
It's a very different sport, as you said, yeah. But then I have to ask, like, you were dominating Supercross, yeah. You were really good in India.
Yeah.
How much of that, the skill required for Supercross? Of course, also you have to understand the terrain. The terrain is always changing, even on the track and everything. How much of that actually helped you when it came to rallying as well? I know there's navigation, there's all of that, but from a riding technique perspective or the fitness perspective, was that of any help at all?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fitness, like I've always been like pretty good at it, pretty confident with it. So that's always been good. Like I always believe that fitness is something that is in your hands and you don't really need a lot of things to be fit. You just need your body. You can always be fit. And I never wanted to be in a situation where I'm like, okay, I need to work on fitness. You know, I didn't want that to be questionable because I wanted that to be ticked and ready, so I can work on like whatever bike skill and stuff. So fitness is always okay, but yeah, bike skill from Supercross definitely helped, but I needed to learn a lot of other things. And just generally my bike skills, like my ability to ride fast on a bike, just raw speed is much lesser than most of the people, like even now. So that has always been the most important factor that I have to improve on, and still is. So yeah.
So that brings us to 2020, where you're the only racer supported by TVS to take on the biggest racing spectacle in the world, which is the Dakar, which I don't understand because it's just crazy. You're looking at what, 7,000 to 9,000 kilometers that you're racing over 15 days, torturous days, on a terrain that you have never seen before. Most likely a terrain that you don't have as much experience in, and you are racing all out, racing against the clock. Why on earth would you do that? I mean, for most human beings, that's crazy, that's suicide, that's just insane. I can also understand that it's Dakar, the biggest stage, to test yourself, but this is crazy. Did it not intimidate you? Like, how was your feeling when you got that call?
I mean, I don't think I think about it so much. I just like want to do it, and I like pushing myself, like may that be at the Dakar or like training or cycling, whatever. So I like pushing my boundaries. The feeling I get afterwards, I really like. So yeah, I mean, I never thought that in a negative way, like, oh, should I not do it or whatever. Like, obviously before the Dakar, many people told me the same, that it's very difficult and you have to focus, and opinions from all angles. And I tried to take whatever I believed was right and stuff. And yeah, I took part. In the end, I felt okay doing the Dakar. Like, it was difficult, but not like out of the world difficult. It is difficult. I mean, it's difficult to say. It depends how the Dakar goes. Like, some situations are really difficult. When you think about it, you're like, I don't want to be in that situation, you know, like over the Dakars. But like, it is difficult for sure.
So this is the difference between a normal human being and a professional athlete. It's not that difficult. Yeah, sure. 9,000 kilometers. No, but that's my point. Okay. let's backtrack. How do you even prepare for a race like that? Yeah, so many different terrains. Is the weather? Yeah, the rain, so cold in the morning, so hot. The fitness level, like the navigation. You don't even have access to the bike that you're going to be racing until a few days before the race. How do you even prepare for a spectacle of this scale?
Yeah, I think it evolved over the years how I prepared, but generally, like obviously your fitness, you need to be fit. Mentally, you need to be ready to be in like difficult situations, which you will be. I don't think you can do a Dakar without any complications. There will be complications for sure. So it's about how you deal with it, and yeah, like train as much as you can, put yourself in similar situations. But it's difficult to say exactly what you need to do to be perfect for the Dakar. Like there is no perfect Dakar. I don't think there is anyone who's done a Dakar and said like I did everything perfectly, like I did no mistakes. It's not possible for that period of time. So I think it's more like how you deal with the problems when you get them. And one thing that I tried to focus over the years, actually even from the beginning, is try to focus on the now. So like take it 1 kilometer at a time, not look at the results. That's an important thing that I've done from the first Dakar till now. So yeah, so that's my kind of motto, is like prepare as well as I can, but then just do the best, because that's all you can do, and try to take it 1 kilometer at a time. Don't think about what happened the kilometer before, which is difficult because your brain automatically wants to think of the mistakes if you do something. But yeah.
So how was it? How was your very first Dakar? The speed was there, as we could see, which was pretty incredible. It took a lot of people by surprise. I mean, we had some benchmarks with CS, with KP, and I was blown with your speed, with how well you were doing.
Yeah.
And I know how it finished, but I'll let you take over.
Yeah. So yeah, the first day, so I was training a lot with Mika Mej at that time before the Dakar. He was actually at the Dakar. No, he was not. His brother was, because he was injured. But yeah, he gave me a lot of tips and told me to take it easy in the beginning and try to focus on the next week or towards the end, because you're going to be fit, because he was also confident with my fitness. So, but unfortunately, first day I crashed. I think I was not really looking at the road book, and I hit one danger at that time. So now there's like these beeps when you hit dangers, and before there was nothing. So it was like you have to look at the road book. So yeah, I hit one hole, I crashed, I hit my eyes pretty hard. So it was like a swollen, like a blue eye.
I remember. That looked really
And
bad.
yeah, but I finished the stage and continued the Dakar. But unfortunately, stage 3, or I believe 3, we had some problems, and I couldn't start the stage, some issues, and we couldn't figure it out. So I kind of didn't finish the Dakar, but did finish the Dakar in experience. So it's like you're not in the overall anymore, because one day you didn't do.
Right.
So you can't be calculated in the overall, and then you just get like a finisher experience, and try to learn as much as I could. I believe the best stage was stage 10 or something. I rode behind one faster guy from Italy, Ceruti, I don't know. And I just followed him, and I was blown away how fast he was going. And I think I finished 23rd or something that stage, which was like the best I think at that year. And yeah, I finished the race. So that was already like, every Dakar I go to, it's the main goal to finish. Yeah, that was how that went. And also...
No, we cannot not talk about the shoelace.
Yeah, the famous...
I mean, I have to let you talk about it, because this is incredible.
Yeah, so...
Yes, please.
Yeah, so after I was already in the experience category, there was stage 6, which was the stage before the rest day. And I started behind one of my teammates from France, and after a few kilometers into the stage, I saw him parked. I stopped and I asked him what's up, and he told me, like, he showed me that his throttle cable was broken. So he could ride, but just like by pulling the cable, so it was not fast. So yeah, we stopped, and then I gave him my throttle cable. Like I removed, because I thought I was not in the race, kind of, so it's like nothing to lose. I gave it to him, and then I thought that stage I will not finish. I'd never thought about like continuing, but then there was like some people around, and we kind of decided, okay, we'll try to put the broken one and try to like tie it to the throttle with tape and a shoelace. So we kind of did that, and
you finished the stage.
yeah, and it was the longest stage of the Dakar. It was like 500 something. And this happened like 40 kilometers into the stage.
Wow.
And the worst was like so we tied it, right? So but the thing was like, when I gave full gas, it was just like at
Stuck.
60 or 70%
okay.
gas. So I was going like not full gas, and then later on in the refueling, it's not allowed to touch the bike, but I was like, I tried to pull it a little more, so it's like more, I can give it more gas. And then after that was a little better, because I could, especially in the dunes, like without full gas it's difficult, and it was better, but still like my hand was hurting, because it was like the tape was so big, and the grip was much bigger on one side. But yeah, we made it to the finish, so it was nice.
So I think this would be like the perfect ad for that shoelace, or whoever the shoe manufacturer
Nike
is.
shoelace.
So that's crazy, because it does the longest stage in Dakar, and you still finish it in time.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Which brings us to your second Dakar, where you rewrite history books by becoming the first Indian to finish in the top 20.
Yeah.
Talk about comebacks. How did that happen? Did you always believe it was possible? Especially in your second Dakar.
No, I did, but I don't remember if I really thought like that's something like top 20, top 15. Like we talked about it a lot. Again, I was still with Mika a lot, so we talked about it. But it was one of my goals, but not like, I never set like so clear goals. So I just I set 1 kilometer at a time, trying to do the best I can in the moment, in the now, and see where it gets me. It's a little, some people might think it's a little lavish way of racing, but it works for me. I mean, it did work this year. So I did the race. I had one really bad day. I had a really bad crash, really bad. I was very fortunate to be okay and finish that stage, because I broke the rear fuel tank.
Oh wow!
I had to get fuel from outside, from other riders 2 times. So I at least lost like 1 hour or something. But again, I was not looking at the results, so I didn't really know where I was, what I was doing. So after the race is when I knew that I finished 20th, which was like a really good feeling, like clean on the 20. Was definitely nice.
Both times in both Dakars, right? So this is the most grueling race in the world. Like this is a torture test. Like this is not for normal human beings, right?
Yeah.
But I think in many ways this is like Tour de France, where that shows you the true meaning of humanity, where everyone is suffering, going through so much pain, and still you have the capacity to do something for someone else, to sacrifice for someone else, to stop for someone else.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful. I think that's what I love so much about Dakar. It's like everyone's racing. Everyone has the pressure to perform. You have factory teams expecting you to do it. And here you still have people stopping to help other people out. I mean, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that must be really satisfying. I mean, that's what I think, like, if you are a part of it, would make you like really, really bond with everyone who's there, like every single person who's taking part in this beautiful race, as tough as it is. Must be a beautiful feeling.
For sure, yeah. I like when I finished the gas, the first rider who came, obviously I asked, he said no, because he's like in the race. But I was so surprised that the second or third guy who came actually stopped, and it's like, okay, quick, take the fuel. And I took it with my camelback, and I was like crying a little, like thinking, oh
Yeah,
man, you
exactly.
saved me, you know. And that guy ended up winning Malemoto.
Wow.
The guy who gave me fuel, he stopped for, I don't know, 5 minutes or 10.
Wow.
So I was like,
See, these are stories which we never hear about.
because
This
I
is
wouldn't
incredible.
stop, you know, like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm
of
in the
course.
race.
No, no, of course.
Give it up to him. I mean, I don't know why he stopped, but maybe he knew that he had a good lead or whatever, but I was really surprised. But unfortunately, I had to stop again and get another fuel, more fuel, which took a very long time, not so fast. And yeah, but I was really thankful for that guy to give me that first 3 liters, because my Camelback just had 3. Yeah.
And then from the high of rewriting the history books in India, finishing your top 20, next year you have a DNF
Yeah.
with again a technical issue, which can happen. This is a part
Yeah,
of racing.
obviously, yeah.
But how hard does it hit you? I mean, all of that training, all of that effort, everything, you know, from the team side, from TVS's side, from your side, all of that effort, you know, all the sacrifice to prepare, and you're doing everything right. It's going well, and then how did you deal with that? Like, was it really hard on you, or you just rolled on saying like, this is just racing, this is just part of racing?
No, it's definitely hard, because in rally raid, like Dakar is the biggest like race in the year, so it doesn't really, I mean, it does matter, but doesn't really matter how you do in other races or what you do. Is just that 2 weeks and what you get at the end of those 2 weeks that really builds you up for the whole year. And you work every day for that, through small injuries or big injuries. You always, it's like the injuries part also, like you get fitter or improve, then you get injured, you come back, you get fitter, and it's not like you keep getting fitter and fitter and fitter and you are like the fittest person. Like, it's always up and
Yep.
down. So it's difficult when like everything just turns off, like when when you're like, okay, that's it, the Dakar is done. I've felt it 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So it's definitely difficult to take it in, but what can you do, right? You can't go back, change anything. You are just there, and this is what you are in, and this is what it is. So
DNF, not finishing, is bad enough.
yeah.
Next year, your worst nightmare comes true.
Yeah.
You get injured. So not only have you trained and everything, and the worst thing happens. Yeah. Can you walk us through that? What happened?
Yeah, so that's definitely harder than a technical problem, because it's like you put it on you, like your mind, your brain. So yeah, that year started off okay. Every year, the beginning of the Dakar, I'm always not so comfortable on the bike.
So this is 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like generally, every year,
Okay.
the beginning, I'm not so comfortable on the bike. I'm just getting used to it. It's always a slow start for me. Prologues, for example, are like really bad every time, every race. So yeah, I was getting used to it, and I had some not such good feelings with the suspension and stuff. I mean, it was good in some places, but not good in others. And it was stage 4. The stage started in bigger dunes, not like sharp dunes, bigger dunes with a lot of camel grass, so like bumpy but big dunes. And I was riding. I got a little arm pump in the beginning, but then it kind of went away. Then I saw one rider who was crashed, Gerard from Hero. I continued, and then I hit like a step. No, I jumped over one, and then there was like a small step, and I hit it, and the rear kind of bottomed out and kicked me to the front, and I think I just fell face, like head first.
Ouch.
And then like the bike went somewhere, not on me, but yeah, I crashed, and then I got up like out of breath a little bit, and I had like a sharp pain in the back. So I was like, I never had that kind of pain, so I was like, it was strange. And it took some time to take the breath, and then another rider came who started behind me. He stopped because I was still like sitting, he helped me up. So I stood up and I was like, I have to go. And my back is paining, and it's like a sharp pain, like a point pain. And he's like, no, I think you should wait. I will call because there is like a medic button. I'll call the medic. You need to check it. It's in the middle of nowhere, like in the dunes, and like there's nothing there, nobody else. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but I think I can go. And he's like, no, you shouldn't go. So, and then I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go. And then the medic came after 5 minutes, really fast, the helicopter. They came, he was still there. I removed like some of my gear, I was standing all the time. They removed from the back to check, but there was nothing visible. So they were like, there's nothing visible, but I think we should do, like, you shouldn't continue, because if it's broken and you go and then you move a little, it might get bad. And then slowly the pain started coming more, because like in the beginning, I guess it's just adrenaline, and you feel like almost nothing. Then they gave me some medicines, and like I started feeling a little better, but I was still like in like a lot of pain. And then we took the helicopter and flew to the nearest hospital, and I was so high. I was like a 1 day helicopter ride, and I was with the earphone with the doctor, and I was like talking to him about the Dakar and that if this is real. And I still remember, like, and then we went to the hospital, and they did x-rays, I think, first, and they said, no, your back is okay, like there's nothing. And I was like, oh fuck, I should have continued, you know. And then they did an MRI or something, or another x-ray, and then they said, no, it's actually broken T4 or 5 or something. And I was like, okay, so yeah, then it's good that, look, I was like, if nothing is wrong, then I would be really pissed, like that I didn't continue, right? So something was wrong. And then from there we went to another hospital in the bigger city, Riyadh, I believe. And there they did another test, and they said that also it's broken, but another vertebrae, not the same. So I was a little confused why they said this and they said this. And the second hospital said that I also have a broken scapula and a broken rib, but I didn't feel anything. So it was a little confusing, but they took good care. It was nice. And then the organization, like my mother came, and we flew back to Kerala, went straight to the hospital. Like I had, I don't know what's it called, like this thing where you can't move, right? So I had that on, and I could walk and stuff. I could just, I could do everything, but I just, like, it's straight from here. So I came from the airport pushing the thing, and the ambulance was there ready. I went straight into the ambulance. Everybody was like, what is he doing? Like, I was coming from the airport and then walked into the ambulance, and they're like lying down, you know. And then we did more tests and everything there, stayed there for like 1 day. And then that was like a super long, kind of one of the longest kind of recoveries. The worst thing was that when I was not wearing the brace, which I was like just on the bed all the time. So that was something that I've never had before. Like, I've torn my ACL, which took quite a while, but I could still like walk around or do something. But this time it was like really nothing and on the bed. So that was like
immobilized.
And like on the bed in one room the whole day, pee in the bottle, like I couldn't even like go to the toilet. It was not easy.
Was that your worst injury thus far, or?
I think so. Like the worst rehab, I guess, like being in that room and just like doing nothing.
Because I remember you went through that, and then I remember you being on the road to recovery. And then I see you on a post on Instagram with your hand in a cast. And I'm like, this guy just broke his back, and now he's trying to get back on a bike, and now he's already broken his hand. Like, what was that all about? That
was probably one of the difficult times in my career. So I broke.
Oh, even more than your back?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Because it like, so I like got the back, and then so, okay, let's recover. We have timelines. We continue to do rehab. Everything was going to plan. and the back was, I was lucky because it was broken, but it was a stable fracture, so it didn't move. It just broke and like it's still there.
Okay.
So it's stable. So that's why I didn't need surgery or anything. So yeah, I just needed to rest and let it heal. And once it was healed, then I could start doing things and obviously weight bearing a little slowly and stuff. But then I started riding, I think 1 week into riding, and I was riding my track at home, Supercross, and it was just the last moto before I had to go somewhere, I don't remember. I just hit this jump and took a new line. Like I was riding on one rut all the time and took a new rut. It was dry and there was just too much loose soil there, like loose small stones. So it slipped on the takeoff, so I gave it more gas, but it just slipped more, and then like I didn't get enough speed and kind of endoed a little bit and like cased the double, like cased it a little, but it was a small double, like not so far, like I don't know how many meters, but not a big one. So I saw that I was gonna case, but I didn't really expect it to be anything crazy. But yeah, I just hit the face of the landing and like just snapped my wrist.
Ouch.
And I didn't crash, like I stopped and like got down off the bike and the wrist was like this, and I was like, is it broken or is it just dislocated or something, you know?
Was it hurting a lot or?
In the
was it
beginning, a little,
just
not
again,
crazy, yeah. But yeah, and then I like tried to press it, but it didn't move, so I was like, sure, it's broken. So I went to the house and yeah, called the doctor. It was Easter, and the doctor like that I know, like that I've done a couple of like fixings with, is like he's Easter man, so he was like busy, but he said come and we'll do it tomorrow. So I went, but he said you need to put
ice pack?
no, like
Cast?
cast, but another one with the scale.
Support.
So you need to do that in the nearest hospital, and then you come tomorrow and we will do it. And then I went to the nearest hospital and they like pulled it straight with nothing.
Ouch.
That hurt a lot. That's like the worst pain ever I've felt.
Wow. Did they not like you or something?
I don't know.
That sounds horrible.
They're like, it's gonna hurt. I was like, okay, let's go. And they pulled and I'm like, what? And
Ouch.
yeah, I got the surgery, but then yeah, that's when I was really questioning, like, why did it happen to me again? Like I just did like 5 months recovery, now again 2 months, and I was like, yeah, that was like not nice, you know, to have an injury and then have an injury immediate, like 1 week, you know.
Did you ever think about quitting rallying at this point of time? I mean, I know you ride, but like rallying at this stage? No, but in terms of like it's the doubling effect, right? First the Dakar, the big stage, big crash. You just about recover and then again your body gets smashed.
I think more than like quitting, what I thought would more was like, am I really good for this? Am I really made for this? Like that. Like I don't think like, I think along those lines more than like I think I should stop because it's too dangerous. Like that's not something like, I think more like, am I really the guy? Am I really good enough for this? Can I really do it? Like that. And like I said to you before, like the 20th was something like really difficult, and it's not easy to do that, especially like a Dakar. There are like so many kilometers. There are like what I always think is there are like millions of rocks in this kilometers just waiting there for you to touch and fall down, you know. So it's the chances of getting it right or finishing is so less, and to do it good, it's even more difficult. So I always have like question, like maybe that would have been the best, but I would keep trying to do the best.
At this low point in your career, what kind of support did you have from TVS Racing? Like, were they really understanding? Were they really helpful? Were they by your side when you needed them in terms of, did they understand?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they've been doing this for so long, but how was your experience?
Yeah, they have definitely been by my side. Like, I feel like that's that's why they are one of the best, because like they've had the experience and they know how it is, like, you know, how the sport is, how someone can be good one day and the next day cannot ride or something. You know, they know the sport, so they understand and they support 100%. You know, they take care of all whatever I need, with the physio and all the hospital things, and they always want the best for me, which is always good. May that be like for training or for injury prevention or injury rehab, whatever. Also the Red Bull APC helped a lot, because I did some like rehab there. It was also nice, and since I study sports science, it's also interesting for me, everything, so it was really cool, and good to have a brand like that support me.
How did you get out of this rut? Like rut of self-doubt? Was it just more physical and the pain which was pointing you in that direction, and once the pain reduced and once you were again feeling better, like how did you, I mean, I can't even imagine being in your place, having been through that, then having the courage to again wanting to continue. Where did that silver lining, where did that ray of light or hope, or what was it that got you back on track?
I don't know, it's just automatic, like you get injured, you keep working to get better, back again. But yeah, I think for me it's like, as long as I see improvement in myself, in my way of looking at things, not like results, like in my way of looking at things, I would not stop. Like as soon as I see like I'm not improving, even though I'm putting in the work, that's probably when I would be like, okay, I think I should stop. Because I mean, why would you do something when you don't see improvements, right? So yeah, so I always wanted to get back. It was more difficult, obviously, because it's like you're again working so hard to get back to what you were before, which you already achieved. I mean, you were already, I mean, like fitness-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How bad were the nerves when you lined up at the start of Dakar this year, having been through all of that, having worked your ass off? You're there.
Yeah.
Again. How bad were the nerves?
Yeah, were definitely difficult. I also work with like a psychologist trainer, Neil, and it is like normal for all athletes towards the race, the last few hours before the start, the the anxiety increases and the self-confidence reduces as you get closer to the start. It kind of goes opposite ways, and as soon as you start and after a minute or two, that all goes away again. But that's normal for everyone, all the athletes. So before the race, I'm like, am I really good at this? Why am I here? Am I gonna, like, what should I do? So it's more like, what we try to focus is to know that it will happen, to know that you know you're gonna, before the start, you're gonna have self-doubt, you're gonna feel anxiety or like stuff. You can't control that, you can't put it away, it's gonna come, but like to accept it and to know that it's not gonna be there forever, and it's normal that you have it, right? So more than ever, again, this year was the same like all the years before, riding at 1 kilometer at a time, trying to focus on the now and trying to do the best I could in the moment, and also not to push when I felt comfortable and to take it easy when I didn't. I think I started getting better at that and trying to focus on navigation, which did work pretty well.
But you did also do one small change. I think this year was the first year you switched to Rally 2, right?
Yes.
Was that also keeping in mind to minimize the risk, because you have obviously a little more control because you have the tire of your choice?
Yeah.
I mean, first, before we get into it, if you could just quickly elaborate on what you were doing previously and what you were doing now, the difference between the actual overall standings and then the Rally 2.
Yeah.
If you could just...
So it's Rally GP and Rally 2. That's the two categories. And Rally 2, it's more for, I wouldn't say amateurs, but like people who are probably not like top factory team riders. I'm not sure about how the rules are, how you can change, but according to me, anyone can change
Okay.
from one category to the other, and they're not obliged to change either way, this
Okay.
way or that way. And independent of the category, every day or every rally you will finish in the overall, you're always there. So
Right.
if you finish 10th overall, you're 10th overall, and if that's second in rally 2, that's second in rally 2. And obviously rally 2 the competition is lesser, for sure. So I thought that way maybe it's good for me to build some confidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the tires also definitely.
So how are the tires different from Rally GP and Rally 2?
So the tires are not. So in Rally GP, according to the rules, you need to stick to one tire pattern or one tire for the whole race. So everybody uses the Desert, which is the standard rally tire, which lasts long, gives you good traction, but lasts long. That's most important. And the other tire that comes into option is Baja, which is a little more aggressive with traction, but doesn't last so long.
Okay.
So when you're Rally 2, you can choose, like if today it's mostly sand, then I'm gonna go with Baja, and if it's just rocks, I'm gonna for sure go with Desert. So I had that choice to do, and I think this year we and the team TVS, everybody together, we made some good choices. Some days we were on Baja, the aggressive tire, and we were the only ones in Baja. So I think, and those stages we did pretty good too. So, and I'm someone that doesn't like really burn the tire so much. I don't know if it's my weight or how I ride, but so yeah, I think that definitely helped.
This is still not like a lifeline per se, because there is still an element of risk involved. In the sense, yes, you do have a choice, but that choice is also risky.
Yeah.
Because if you are not careful, you are gonna, like the tire is not gonna last as long. It doesn't have the durability.
Yeah.
So yes, you have an option, but it's not like a cheat code. There is still definitely risk involved.
Yeah.
So it's whether or not. So it's not like I don't think it's a fair assessment for you to say that it's like an amateur class. I think you are right there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think it really has an impact over the overall rankings per se.
Yeah.
Because you're still, it's just giving you the option to risk more if you want.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah. So I think you are just being a little too modest here, because I don't think it's that. It's not really a lifeline per se. Of course, you have benefit. That's where you can make time, but there's also risk.
Yeah.
So I know you did not want to understand where you were, but I'm pretty sure it must be very hard for your team to not update you about your progress. How did that work out?
So I think in the beginning I was like similar to all the years before, like I don't know, between 20 and 30, something like that. And and then like I said, I started getting more confident and comfortable on the bike after 3-4 stages. And and then I don't know what happened. I actually got sick. I got sick before rest day. Like stage 6 was this not marathon. What's it called? The 2-day stage where you slept in the middle of nowhere. And it was so cold at night, and I didn't have any clothes except the sweaty riding gear. So I was sick, and I was really sick, like my running nose, and it's not nice to ride 500 kilometers with running nose. You know? So I was sick, but I don't know why. The second week I started just feeling better and better, and I was just started pushing, but without taking more risk or anything. Like I just felt good on the bike, and I think that second week I turned my Dakar around, and probably the biggest day of my life in racing, or in my career in racing, is the stage 10 this year. And I finished the stage. So I was the stage before that. Not the stage before that. The stage before that. So 2 stages before, I was riding pretty good, and I caught some riders in front. So they start already like 3 minutes. So if you catch someone, you're like already 3 minutes faster than them. And and they were not like smaller riders. They were all Rally GP riders. So some factory riders. So I was like little unconfident to pass them, or didn't really know what I should do.
Interesting.
So I was like riding behind them. Then they got lost, I should have looked at the road book, but I never thought they would get lost, so I got lost also. So I was like, okay, I lost time, and I should have just done my own thing, you know, whoever is in the front. And I think stage 10 was like one of those days where I was like, whoever I reach, I catch, doesn't matter who it is, I'll just pass if I can and just do my own road book and anticipate the road book before. And that's what I did. I don't know how many people I passed, a couple of people, maybe 4 or 5. And I finished the stage with some people like with me, but who I passed. And the guy with the TV said, "Hey, you finished 4th." And I was like, "Okay, 4th in the rally too." And then, no, 4th overall. It's like, wait, no way, this is true. Yeah, this is not possible, you know. And I was like, yeah, no way, it's true. And then, no, it's real. And then the whole way back to the bivouac, I was like, no, this can't be real. No. Something is wrong. And then I reached the bivouac, and then like I finished 5th because one guy was still riding, so he got a little faster. But still 5th overall in a stage. And then I take my phone, and so the stage-wise results sometimes I know because like 2 stages I won in Rally 2. I didn't feel anything special there, but this one was really special. And then later I found out that like I got like messages, and I think my team manager Severus, he's like, "Hey, you should have won the stage."
Wait,
bad luck.
You did not win the stage?
I was winning the stage 30 kilometers before the finish. I was first.
Oh wow, until 30 kilometers.
In the last 30 I lost time.
Wow, so wait, so you're saying that you got 2 stage wins?
No, overall winning.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like in the stage 10.
Yo, I remember.
I was overall winning.
Okay.
That and lost it in the last. So like screenshots of that, and like you know, Dakar doesn't tweet. It's like a news thing.
Yeah.
So that like they said like Harith Noah leading today's stage by 37 seconds over Brabeck, who won the Dakar.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, like it can't be real, you know.
Yeah.
But that really like till now like. That really, it's like changed everything, you know. That made me believe like there is, obviously it's not easy and it's not gonna be easy to do it again, but it is possible, you know. And I never thought it is possible before, like really, or the Rally 2 win, but this one for sure not, you know. So yeah, that was like really a crazy day, and like, still now it's still saved as my favorite pictures in the phone, the screenshots of that. And I look at it whenever I feel like self-doubt, like am I made for this, I just look at that and I'm like, okay, let's go. You know. So
this is definitely, so you won the Rally 2 stage, like this was a Rally 2 win, right?
I think Rally 2 I won, but I
know what you're saying, but that was my question. Like you won 2 stages
in Rally 2.
Rally 2.
Yeah.
So this was definitely one of them.
Yes.
And this means more because you were so close to the champagne of this particular stage overall, which is crazy. But now that brings us to the same question. When did you realize that you were very close to winning Rally 2? Like when did you believe? Did you believe that you could do it? You're so close. I know you do not like to follow the standings, but your team had to tell you at some point.
So my motto was just to finish and to take it 1 kilometer at a time, not look at the results, just do my best. But when in between, I kind of knew, okay, I could get top 3 would be nice, you know, in the back of my head. But I still tried to not think about it too much because my focus was just to finish and to do my best. And towards the end of the second week, I started understanding that I am somewhere in the top 3. Mm-hmm. Like without anyone telling me. And there was one stage, I think it was 10. No, not 10, 11, the stage after. So actually it was not, if I would have won that stage, 10, I would have probably not won Rally 2 maybe, because I would have started first the next day, which was only rock stage, like mostly rocks, the most difficult rocky stage, I would say. And I started 5th, and normally I'm not that great in rocks. Yeah, I started 5th, and that stage I did pretty good, I think. And the team was like, do you want to know for tomorrow, because there's just one more stage, right? And then I really like thought about it. I talked to my psychologist, like, there are two things, right? So either I am first, I'm in front of the second guy with a good time, right? Then I can probably relax and ride the last stage of the Dakar. But most of the time when you crash, it's when you relax, because
Yeah.
you lose focus,
Yeah.
right? So that's not good. The second thing is I'm behind
And then you're chasing
by
really
a
hard.
few minutes or whatever, and then that means I'm stressed and I have to push more.
Yeah.
So the best thing is just not to know and just do the best, you know.
Wow.
So we decided not to know, and I really didn't know. Like, I really didn't know.
Oh shit.
So I was like, I would just give it all I have the last stage. I really wanted to just go full gas.
Yeah.
I did. It was a shorter stage, and the whole stage was fast with a lot of speed zones, but a lot of most of the tracks were between mountains. So, and there was no wind, so I caught like the guy in front, not right in front, but in the dust pretty quickly, like 30 kilometers into the stage, and there was nothing I could do. Like, I could just ride slow because of the dust. And then it was like a train, like the guy behind me caught me, the Honda guy, and the guy in front of he also caught. So we were like 5 riders,
Wow.
all with this like 800-meter distance, because we can't get close cut with the dust. It's just, you can't do anything. And
So was that frustrating?
and yeah, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go stupid and go
Right.
into the dust full gas
Right.
and lose everything. So I just did my best and finished the stage, and then they told me that I won and I was like, are you sure? It's sure, right? No penalties, not.
They have calculated everything.
Yeah.
They've calculated all the riders. Well, how did it feel to be told that you have beaten the 2023 World Cup winner, Romain, in the Rally 2 Championship, and you are a Dakar Rally 2 champion? Like, when did that sink in? Like, how did it feel? Like, I cannot even imagine. No. Like, how can you even, having been through that, having been through all of that, like, how does it feel? How does it feel?
It feels really good. No, yeah, it felt really good. Took time to sink in. I think the biggest feeling was more when I got on the podium and I held this huge, heavyweight kind of trophy, and how important and big it is. Like, I still feel like even the team, Sherco team mechanic head, he also said, like, this is like, thanks a lot, this is like a dream, you know, for the team also, and for me also, of course, to get this trophy, like, and it's the top of the podium. And of course it's not Rally GP, but it's still the top of in the Dakar, in the podium.
You were still 11th overall.
Exactly, and arguably it's more important than getting 4th overall. You know, being
absolutely.
first, because you have this thing and it's so valuable, and it's so difficult to do that again. You know, like 20th, this is gonna be even harder, like to do that again. But for me, still, like, it's really great, and I'm so happy to have won the Rally 2. But for me, that the day and the thing that I take away from this Dakar the most was the stage 10. Like, I did something there that really worked. I need to try to do that. But again, I don't think anything changes for me. It shouldn't. That's what the goal is. So next time I go there and try to do the Dakar, the goal is going to be to finish the Dakar and to take it 1 kilometer at a time. If I finish 5th in Rally 2, giving it my all, that's where I belong. That's what I get. Yeah. Of course, I'll be a little sad because, you know, it's not as good as I was before, or maybe the others were better. But all I can do is the best I can. So.
Oh, the luck did not favor you. As I said, so many stones. One stone takes one stone. But I'll have to remind you. I don't know if you remember. We met with your hand in cast and everything, and we had the conversation about how just before the Dakar and how you said it's impossible.
Yeah.
That time you were saying that even top 20 was crazy.
Yeah.
You weren't even sure if you'll be able to do it. and you're so honest, and you're talking about how, and you have still again mentioned it so many times that the other guys are faster. Because again, Dakar, it's very important to understand that Dakar, what makes Dakar is not just the terrain, not just the distance, but it is the ultimate prize. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the best guys in every single vertical of dirt racing. Yeah, whether it's trials, whether it's rallying, whether it's motocross, everyone wants to win the Dakar. So you have the creme of the best dirt riders in the world compete to win the Dakar. And this guy, he told me that he's not good enough skill-wise. He's very good in navigation compared to, that's why we Indians do really well, because we're pretty good at multitasking, I guess, going fast, and he did it. He actually won. He actually won the Dakar Rally too, which brings us to 2025. What's your aim? How do you, does anything change, or you just do what you just said, like just do your very best? And
yeah, I think so. 1 kilometer at a time. It's important that nothing changes, because like when you finish like something like this good, you tend to try to change, try to get better, but actually what you did last year was perfect, you know. So I mean, could be better for sure, but it's really gonna be more difficult to do the same again, because you have that thought that, you know, last year how it went, especially how it went. So it's really important to try to close it all and try to just focus on one kilometer over the thousands of kilometers, and just try to do the best, I think, because it's such a long race, so many things can happen.
Yeah.
And to finish is always the goal. So
I'm just going to end with a final question, which is perhaps the most important question. You did this as a TVS factory racer. You put India on the map. You put TVS Racing on the map by winning the Dakar Rally too. What did it mean to them? What was their reaction to see you holding that heavy trophy, which you mentioned, on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, I think it means way more, like it means so much. It's so difficult to explain it in words, to, you know, race for TVS, represent India at the Dakar and at the top of the podium. And it's so big, like it's so difficult to do it, you know, but then it's doable. So, and even better can be done, you know. So I believe that a lot is possible. Not everything is possible, like, but a lot is possible when you put your mind to it. I didn't believe I would win the Dakar and Rally 2 before the race. I never really thought about it, but I did. And so I think if you really work hard and stay focused and have a good team like TVS backing you, and all the support around you, I mean, every small details, everything matters, right? So yeah, it's possible, and even more is possible. So yeah.
Godspeed.
Yep.
Thanks so much. Absolute pleasure to have you here on Motopod, and finally we made it happen.
For sure.
And wow, what a discussion. I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I have, because this has been a long time in the making, and I'm glad we could make it happen. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.